everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And it's time for another letters page. This is our final segment for the Geekvolution Omnibus. And today we're doing something a little bit different. Eric, today our questions, and we're gonna rapid fire them, do them as fast as humanly possible, as many as we can in 15 minutes. Today our questions are aimed exclusively at you.
Just me.
Every question is for Eric today.
It's the Eric Show.
It's the Eric Show. You ready, sir?
Okay.
Here's your first question. Your first question comes from Connor Nielsen, and he says, "Hey, Eric,
Connor.
Have you seen the Grindhouse double feature from Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino? And if so, do you prefer Planet Terror or Death Proof?"
Okay, so for me, this isn't a question at all. Death Proof is far and away the worst thing Quentin Tarantino has ever done.
Really?
I really don't like Death Proof. I think that the first half of the movie wastes my time because the second half of the movie, and I think the second half of the movie makes all of their characters morally deplorable because they don't know the first half of the movie happened. I vehemently dislike Death Proof.
I didn't know that. Maybe you mentioned that, but
Planet Terror is fun. I haven't watched either of these in a good long while. They have finally released the because obviously this was released in theaters as a double feature, but for the longest time you couldn't get it on DVD like that. So you had to buy two different movies, and also they didn't have the fake trailers because there's fake trailers. One of which I want more than anything, which is saying something because Rob Zombie movie. It's called Werewolf Women of the SS, and it's just like it's this because we used to make like weird like Nazi movies with chicks and like women in prison movies like that. That was a genre in the 70s, and it's one of those. And like whatever. But then at the very end, like it's like this person is in this movie and this person is in this movie. And then it goes. And Nick Cage as Fu Manchu.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing. I want it so bad.
You've told me about that.
Yeah. Anyways,
Blake Preston asks, if you had to pick to either see the 30-minute extended cut of Infinity War or the Zack Snyder cut, which would you pick?
Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not
as much as I need more Thanos.
Yeah,
like,
not because I think it would be better, but because I think it would be more interesting.
You're just too curious.
I'm just too curious. I have to know what that movie looks like.
Donnie St. Pierre, if you had the space, and this is interesting, if you had the space and the value would be the same, would you exchange your trades for singles?
No. No, I prefer trades. They're more portable. Like that's the number one thing. Is I can take trades places. As I can take.
You've seen me review a 6-issue miniseries and inevitably lose one and have to go find it.
Yeah. No, I can have all of the ultimates in a 12-issue trade as opposed to having to lug around 12-issue. No, I would not do that.
Plus, they're pretty on shelves.
Yeah.
Solar Dragon 007, do you think there's a cynicism and or disdain underlying Hollywood's attempts to deconstruct heroic characters like Superman and Luke Skywalker?
I mean, that's a case-by-case thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's inherent.
I don't think there's an inherent cynicism. I think a lot of it is trying to show how smart you are. I don't think it's inherently cynical. I think it's just...
Isn't it also where we go when we're just afraid that something's been done too much? Where it's like,
it's too obvious.
You understand this character, so now we've got to break it down and show you how you don't understand this character at all.
Yeah. So no, I don't think there's an underlying cynicism. I think it can be cynical. I think it depends.
This comes from someone who has a really vulgar name, so I can't read it. Is Eric still writing? Does he plan on releasing anything?
Yes, not as much as I should be, but I am working on things. I would like to get to a point where I can release things.
K Dragon Balls, what do you think about there being two adaptations of the same material, but one being looked at negatively because it doesn't follow the source material as much, i.e. Full Metal Alchemist 2003 and the first Hellsing anime, even if they have merit?
I mean, with those two in particular, I think it's not fair with both of them. I think they both have their own strengths. I think the original Full Metal Alchemist is padded going back to, or it has a lot of filler going back to it. But that's how we all...
gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's how we all originally experienced it, and we all liked it. And then it was like, well, and especially with Full Metal Alchemist, I read some of the manga, and like when we got to the point where it started deviating, I kind of didn't like it as much. I'm not saying the original ending to Full Metal Alchemist is great or anything, but I don't like that, and I really don't like it with Hellsing. I think the original Hellsing anime is a fine piece on its own that stands apart from the source material, and I don't like that it has now been reputation. Well, it's not the good one. The good one, especially because it looks better. It's got way better animation. I mean, those are specifically anime, but like a lot of times I'm disappointed when we readapt something and we aren't trying to be close to the source. What's the point of doing it again? The only reason to ever remake The Shining would be to get it right.
Yeah.
As far as adaptation. You're not going to try and remake Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. You want to try and remake Stephen King's The Shining.
Yeah, but it's so iconic, it's difficult not to do some of the shots from it.
No, that's true.
That happens a lot.
But and I guess Stephen King obviously did try to do that. But like I was disappointed the Total Recall movie didn't clearly they didn't look at the.
No, it's just a remake of that
short
movie.
Story at all.
Yeah, conversely, just because you make something again that is closer to the source material doesn't mean that the material that was done before is necessarily good or bad. Like the Daredevil TV show getting closer to comic book Daredevil is not the reason Daredevil doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt 9000. Would you ever do a series of reviews on Tarantino's filmography, considering that his newest film is coming out next year?
No. Like I mean, I like Tarantino as much as the next guy, but I don't feel like I really have something to say.
To go back to every movie and talk about them.
No. It's just not a me thing. I'm not a movie guy the way he is, and I feel like if you were gonna do that, you need to be a movie guy like he is. You need to be able to go through and be and this and he here's all of the things that he's pulling from. I don't know. I
wouldn't want to do it like you're doing 007.
No,
Even
I wouldn't.
for quick 15-minute reviews or.
I'm not saying I wouldn't do it or I
don't even know how much interest it would be.
if you play Gun in my head, I'd do it, but why me?
Yeah.
Why am I the one?
Making it a priority. There's other things you'd rather do.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want to do an overview thing like we did with Halloween.
No,
That
certainly
would be
not.
weird.
And I like all of his movies except for Death Proof. I like Tarantino.
Madman, how do you distinguish between irrational behavior in that is character driven and irrational behavior that is a contrivance for the plot?
A lot of that comes down to how it affects the narrative and people around them. Mm-hmm. If everyone around you is saying, like in Bendis' Daredevil, Matt Murdock is making poor choices, and everyone around him is like, "Hey, you're kind of making dumb choices."
Yeah.
I know that the writer is aware of it. That's the thing.
It's almost always about consequences.
Yes.
And I know I'm a broken record. Some of this just isn't that hard. You can tell when somebody does something just to move forward the narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can just tell. It's nobody would act like that. And if they did, you're right. Somebody would be like, you idiot.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Or people would stop talking to them. Or
yeah.
What I can't stand is when people are acting irrationally and nobody notices.
Yeah. They act like they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're acting equally irrational, and that becomes the rationality of the piece.
Yeah.
Which I guess if that's its internal logic, but then
Yeah.
It's not usually what we're talking about. This is interesting. Connor Fahey, if you were to open a restaurant, what kind of food would you serve?
I don't know. I don't make food. I don't.
See, I don't either.
I open a restaurant like that guy on that food show where it's half magic show, half restaurant.
I still want to go there. I know it would cost us $500,000 to eat there, but I want to go to that. We've never talked about that. No one knows what we're talking about.
No.
But I don't remember the name of that show.
I would want to do.
I've thought about restaurant concepts before.
Well, and this isn't a restaurant concept thing, right? It's food. It's what food would you serve? I don't know.
Right. I would do a pie place.
Yeah.
I would do pie.
I don't know what I would do.
Or a really cool bakery.
Yeah, I don't have strong food opinions like that. I'm not
a big food guy. You
I like food.
You like to eat.
Yeah.
You're not I don't care what I'm eating.
No, and I have things I like and I have things. I mean, I don't have a lot of things I don't like, but
That is one thing that's really nice about living with you is you're really easy to go out to eat with or to
I don't
cook
care
for
really.
at home. Or,
yeah.
But it's not like you don't have opinions. You just about what you're eating.
Yeah. There's not really a type of food I don't like. There might be individual foods, but there's not really a type of food I don't like.
Yeah, if I'm do you want Italian, Mexican, or Chinese?
Yeah.
If you're not in a particular mood,
I mean, the answer's always going to be Chinese, but...
Pick one, yeah.
It'd be weird if I opened a Chinese restaurant. Maybe a sushi place.
We only sell fried donuts. That's all we have. It's a fried donut bakery. That's what we make. It's all we make. Brian Ull, Eric, if you could go back in time and observe any moment of history in person, what would it be?
So I've always had a version of this question that I've asked people, which is if you go back in time and see one musician, who would it be? And my answer is I want to see the Sex Pistols in a dive bar.
Yeah.
Like where like the audio doesn't work exactly entirely right, like in just the purest form of punk. But other than that, like just moments in history, it would be cool to see Star Wars opening day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure.
To get to be there for that reaction. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's times I would go to, but like just to see it, yeah, I don't know.
Can I answer this real quick?
Yeah.
I know we're doing questions for you, but
Yeah.
can I do this real quick? Mine is a uncharacteristically kind of political / religious answer.
Sure.
Crucifixion? It would have to be the crucifixion.
That's where my mind went immediately.
To settle arguments.
Yeah. No, that's immediately where my mind went.
Like, how could you care more about anything like over, can we be sure that that religion is right? You know what I mean? Like
the greatest moment since the crucifixion. And I should know.
I know there's lots of other religions,
there.
but just like obviously so many people I know are Christian and believe that.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if it really happened or not.
Yeah.
And then once you had proof, then like you'd know, and we don't have to have this argument anymore.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice not to have this argument anymore.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. That maybe says too much about me. Jeffrey Patron, what is an underappreciated run in comics that you feel deserves to be unsung?
Would that be sung?
Yeah, I think that's what he means, yeah.
Wildcats 3.0. Wildcats 3.0 is... So, like, The Authority is a comic book run that was insanely popular and important, and everyone forgot about it immediately, like, to a weird degree. Like, as if we just had, like, as a culture amnesia about how insanely popular this thing was and influenced everything. Wildcats 3.0 is a book that I think a lot of people read and didn't talk about, but, like, you see it. So Wildcats 3.0 is about the idea of a corporation as a superhero, that corporations have personhood, and genuinely trying to run an altruistic company to make the world better. Then about a decade later, Fraction's doing that in Iron Man, Hickman's doing that in Fantastic Four. I think it's... and there's Batman Incorporated.
It's influential, but only because writers read it.
Yeah. And I think more people should read it. It is very adult. You have to... It's Joe Casey. You have to have Joe Casey sensibilities, which I do. But, like, it's really good. It doesn't have an ending. It got canceled. Wrote the final issue. By the way, there won't be more issues.
It's 4,400. Like,
you're not
going to get an ending.
Yeah, you will not get an ending, and that's a bummer. But and also, it's the best that Dustin Nguyen's art has ever looked. It's amazing.
So this one's amusing. Logan Tucker, which is worse, a great premise that fails to execute, or a marathon of the Transformers live-action movies?
I mean, I've done a marathon of Transformers live-action movies.
Right, but is that worse than a great premise that fails to execute?
I don't.
I
mean, those movies are great premises that fail to execute, I guess. I don't...
That's true. The thing is, a marathon of bad movies takes a lot longer, so, like, you can forget about, like, a movie that was really disappointing.
That's like apples and hatchets, like...
I thought it was amusing, though. Tony Casero, what are two genres that rarely get mixed that you think go really well together?
Fantasy in any setting but medieval times.
Yeah, you go to that a lot. Yeah.
It just doesn't exist enough. And specifically the thing where, like, fantasy worlds. Where, like, you'll do Weird West, but it's always set in history. You don't do a fancy Western. You don't do a fancy, like Greek-inspired thing the way we do with medieval times. Mm-hmm. So yeah, fantasy with anything that's not medieval, specifically, like, in its own world.
I'm gonna go with superhero musical. I know of one.
I can think of two.
A couple. We could do more. We could do more of that. We could do some. Yeah, we could do some. We can do some more. But we've never done the serious one. We've never done the really serious.
This is the thing I think about with something like with Les Miserables, where, like, that's a Like someone looked at a very serious novel and said, "Yeah, I can write music to that."
Yeah.
I want that with like other things.
Yeah.
Like I want the serious. Like a lot of times we do musicals and they're like the silly fun. Like no, I want like a serious like gets in your soul.
Like an opera without being an opera.
Yeah, for like detective novels and
Yeah.
things like that. Like I think that could be really cool.
I think that could be really cool too. Well, folks, we are out of time. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this installment of Letters Pages and the Geekvolution Omnibus. We'll be back with you again in 3 weeks with another one, a whole bunch more segments of reviews and discussion. And we're going to be doing a loose Halloween theme show next time, so look forward to that. We'll try to come up with as much Halloween and horror-themed stuff as we can. I don't think that'll be hard. I've been in that mood lately anyway. So so stuff that I like. If I've got more Teen Wolf to do, I might do it. I might do some of that on that show. Some of that might happen before that as I'm getting through it. I don't know, but
sure.
That would be a place to put it. And we'll find some other cool things too. So anyway, Eric, any final thoughts? Any last?
No.
Anything?
I'm good.
Thanks for answering questions. Some of those were pretty great questions.
Some of those were pretty good questions.
Really insightful things. So I was, Letters Pages lately. We've been doing just a couple of questions because I'm doing so much Q&A with the Captain's Log. But when I saw how insightful a lot of those were, I was like, let's rapid fire. Let's go through as many as we can.
Mainstream guy, do you think there's any major comic runs that you think are unsung?
As mainstream guy, man, I was afraid you'd ask me that question. Do you mean of like mainstream comics or
no,
things I really like?
Yeah. Is there a comic series that you think is kind of unsung? People don't really know about. Do you have anything like that that's like major where you're like, this is really good and like no one ever talks about?
I mean, I feel like I've answered this question enough times that everything I would come up with are things I've said before, and I'm blanking right now.
Sure.
Like I'm not immediately. Man, I know as soon as we turn the camera off, I'll think of something. Yeah, right off, nothing's coming.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I definitely have stuff, but
I'm
just nothing's coming right away. Well, anyway, and I was ending the show, and so no, you're fine. Anyway, well, once again, thanks for watching, folks. Sure appreciate it. We'll see you again next time. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.